Deep in the Bronx, just a few blocks north of the shadow of Yankee Stadium, you'll find a patch of New York that outsiders rarely wander into. This is the territory of the Courtlandt crew, also known as the Gside, Gside, C.O.E, and the infamous 150 LZ and 750 LZ cliques. Their stronghold stretches from 150th to 158th Street, anchored by Courtlandt Avenue and radiating out into the Melrose Houses, Andrew Jackson Houses, Morrisania Houses, and even onto 3rd Ave and Park Ave. This cluster of projects is boxed in, highlighted on the map as a blue outline with blocks like East 156 and Courtlandt at its heart. But before we get started, make sure you go check out my website that's in the description, where I post viral and crazy videos daily where you can watch the dangers of the world from the comfort of your home. The original Goons, OGs, have built their reputation through a tangled network of alliances and rivalries. The crew is fractured into tight-knit cliques, with 150 LEZ and 750 LCs serving as the most notorious. Made up mostly of young men who grew up together in these same projects, their loyalty runs deep, but so does their willingness to go to war. What sets Courtlandt apart is their double jacking. They don't just claim OGs, they rep multiple sets, including the Ruthless, Rundown, Macbala Family, Gorilla Stonebloods, Rawlin 60 Crips, Patria, 1090 Gs, Bloodhound Brims, Sex Money Murder, and the Primetime Brims. The alliance is complicated and loyalty shifts with the winds of the block. Some members are strictly OGs, but most have affiliations that blur the line. Violence in this area is a daily reality. According to community reports and news sources, the Courtlandt set has been linked to a string of shootings and homicides over the last decade. In recent years, NYPD has connected the group to a series of retaliatory shootings against rivals, most notably the 3rd Ave bosses and the OT3 crew, whose territory borders Courtland's to the east. Several murders remain unsolved, but the streets know the stories. Rumors swirl about bodies dropping after late-night shootouts on 156th or 158th. Often with social media posts fueling the cycle of revenge. Allies include crews like Mitchell Flybridge, LNF/DR3 Watty Gang, Lyman, and others. But the list of enemies is longer and bloodier. The 163rd Taliban Gang and the Patterson set are just two of the main beefs, with each side trading shots and insults, often online for everyone to see. Police have tried to clamp down with indictments and raids, but the set always seems to adapt. Members have been charged in sweeping RICO cases, with several OGs and their affiliates serving long stretches in upstate prisons, but as soon as one crew falls, another clique rises up in its place. For the kids growing up in the shadow of Melrose Houses, Courtlandt isn't just a gang, it's a way of life, written into the bricks of every block from 150th to 158th Street. In the Fordham and Bedford Park area of the Bronx, the 187/198 Drillies have built a reputation as one of the most active sets in the borough. Their territory is marked on the map, covering Valentine Avenue, Briggs Avenue, and the surrounding blocks between East 197th and East 199th Street. On these corners, the Drillies name carries weight, both in the streets and in the city's driller scene. The Drillies have deep roots with the Bloodhound Brims, a set known for their close ties and no-nonsense approach to the street game. Among their closest allies are 94 Gs and Double G, crews that often move together and stand back-to-back when tension rises. But it's the rivalries that define much of their story. The Drillies are locked in a relentless feud with Sethside and OGs, with every year bringing a fresh wave of confrontations and tragedies. These beefs play out in dish cracks, street confrontations, and sometimes in the headlines after another act of violence. The name Chaco stands out when talking about the Drillies. He's the one body most people in the neighborhood know about, rumored to have been killed by the Drillies in a hit that set off a series of retaliations and heightened the war between rival sets. His death is still felt, turning up in murals and whispered stories around the block. Among the faces leading the Drillies are Say Drilly, Murder G, and Bibby Drilly, names that show up in music videos, on social media, and in NYPD files. For them, and for anyone trying to survive on these Bronx blocks, the turf isn't just a place to hang out, it's the front line. In the Soundview section of the Bronx, one stretch stands out for its constant activity in street politics. The blocks around Watson Avenue, Stratford Avenue, and Elder Avenue. This is the home turf of the Watson/NSU/Watty Gang, a crew with deep connections and a reputation that echoes through the city's drill music and street headlines. The gang is made up of several powerful Bronx sets, including the Rundown Makbala family, Gorilla Stone Bloods, and Sex Money Murder. Together they form a tight alliance holding down their area with a mix of loyalty and force. Their closest allies include Stratford, Taylor Ave, and Soundview, forming a network that helps them stand their ground and handle pressure when it comes from the outside. But it's the rivalries that really define their day-to-day life. Walston/NSU/Watty Gang is in a constant battle with crews like Bronxdale, Drilly Gang, and Parkchester. The beef isn't just talk. Over the years, it's led to a series of violent run-ins, drive-bys, and tragedies that keep these blocks on edge. Every move is watched and every incident has the potential to spiral into something much bigger. Notable members like Junius B, Mizzy NSU, Maybach Macho, and Pop B are well known, both on the block and in the Bronx drill scene. For them and the younger generation coming up under the Watty name, these streets are more than just home. They're a proving ground where loyalty and survival go hand in hand. The neighborhood's boundaries are marked in red on the map, running from Elder Avenue in Stratford down to Watson Avenue in Boynton. Every block, every building has a story, and for the Walston/NSU/Watty Gang is a story that's still being written, one day at a time. North Bronx, on the blocks running from Reservoir Oval to E207th Street and around Williamsbridge Oval Park, there's a crew whose name carries a serious reputation. Gside, also known as Drilly Gang, Key Drive, or Dummy Gang. Their turf is mapped in red, cutting through the Norwood section, a neighborhood where every corner has a history. Gside is made up of a mix of some of the Bronx's most notorious sets, from Sex Money Murder and Bloodhound Brims to Gorilla Stone Bloods, and even a few Trinitarios and Makbala family affiliates. In this area, sets often blend, making the Gside network hard to pin down and even harder to challenge. Among their main allies are 94 Gside and 198 crews that have stood alongside Gside through long-standing beefs and block battles. The street politics in this part of the Bronx are deadly. Gside's most intense rivalries are with Sethside and Flybridge. The history between these crews is written in headlines and police files, shootings, retaliations, and endless social media taunts. The beef is real and it's left its mark, especially with the killings of Lil Loke and Nell Goon. Two bodies often brought up in connection with Gside and their ongoing wars. Key members like Spaz Drilly, Suave Drilly, and Yami G are recognized figures both on the block and online, their names surfacing in music and neighborhood stories and sometimes in NYPD briefings. For them, Norwood isn't just a place to claim, it's a battlefield and a legacy. With boundaries stretching from Reservoir Oval, Perry Ave, and 207th Street, Gside's grip on the area is as much about survival as it is about respect. Every day new drama unfolds, but the rules stay the same. Hold down your section, back your set, and never get caught slipping. From East 187th Street and 3rd Avenue down to Prospect, Sethside controls one of the largest and most feared territories in the Bronx. Marked in blue on the map, this set is a powerful blend of crews. Sex Money Murder, Grape Street Crips, and a mix of Rollin' 80S, Rollin' 30S, and Gorilla Stone Bloods. In this part of the city, Sethside's influence is felt on every corner from Arthur Avenue to the edges of the Bronx Zoo. Sethside's main allies are 6 Block and Rayway, sets that stand together when the beef gets hot and police pressure mounts. It's this alliance that's helped Sethside keep control, especially with rivals always lurking close by. But Sethside's beefs run deep, with crews like Drilly Gang, 800 Gside, and OG Ziz at the top of the list. Every summer brings new headlines, shootouts, retaliations, and tragedies that never seem to stop. For Sethside, every day on the block is a fight to maintain respect and territory. Names like K Flock, Dougie B, and Swervo Flocka are well known, both in the streets and the drill scene. But the losses hit hard too. Fallen members like J-Rip and Waska are remembered in murals and stories, their deaths fueling the cycle of violence and revenge that's defined this corner of the Bronx. For Sethside, these blocks are more than just turf. They're home, battlefield, and legacy, all at once. In the Bronx, the blue lines around Sethside territory are a warning. Cross them and you better be ready for the consequences.